Okay, I think I will go ahead and get us started since we have quite a full session today with some exciting guest speakers, and we are live and we are recording. So if you do join us a few minutes later, or if you're not able to make it today, you can always watch back later. So welcome everyone to this final live information session for the 2021 Asia-Pacific WEPs Awards in Malaysia that we'll be holding with you for the next hour. And so my name is Amy, and I am a consultant with We Empower Asia, which I will tell you a little bit about in a minute. And so today we'll do a brief welcome and a little bit of background to our UN Women program and the WEPs Awards and the WEPs that inspired the awards. We're going to hear from two amazing 2020 awardees and lovely women that we have joining us today. We're very excited to be welcoming them. Miss Suliza Abdullah, the Group Managing Director and CEO of BG Capital Holdings, and Amelia Wati Zainal, Managing Director of Q3 Management Solutions. So we're very excited. You'll hear from them later. And also joining me today is my colleague Archana Pillai, the DEI consultant with Lead Women. And you'll hear a little bit more about them later as well. So to get us started, I'll just give a very brief background to We Empower Asia that is leading this WEPs Awards initiative. So We Empower Asia is a UN Women program that is funded by and in partnership with the European Union. And we implement in 7 different countries in the Asia-Pacific. And our key aim is to promote more women to participate in and lead in business. And we work with the broad scale of the business ecosystem, from individual entrepreneurs to SMEs, all the way to large corporates. And the key tool or vehicle that we use to drive this progress throughout the ecosystem is called the Women's Empowerment Principles, or the WEPs, that you're going to hear a lot more about today. We always just call them the WEPs. So they were initiated in 2010 by UN Women and UN Global Compact as the first holistic framework to guide gender responsiveness throughout a business's entire value chain. So all the way from the C-suite and the board and leadership levels into the workplace, but then also deeper into the marketplace, looking at the suppliers you're supplying from, buying from women-owned businesses and women entrepreneurs, and also looking at how you're supporting the community, how you're advocating within your own industry, and then also looking at transparency and reporting and measurement and reporting to build transparency and really help drive change. So the WEPs was designed initially for larger corporates to be able to guide them through having a massive value chain in this whole process, but it can be adapted to SMEs and even individual entrepreneurs, find within it a framework that can really anchor their work as they keep growing, and to guide all different parts of their business to become gender responsive. So from the WEPs, I'll make a brief mention, I'm sorry, before I mention the awards. Becoming a WEP signatory. Becoming a signatory is open to anyone across the globe, and we actually just surpassed about a month ago 5,000 signatories around the globe. It's for any private sector organization, including stock exchanges, chambers of commerce, business associations, individual entrepreneurs, all the way up to large multinationals. Any private sector organization can become a signatory. And it's a very straightforward process of downloading the statement of support that the CEO or the managing director signs, and then filling out a brief online application, and we go through an approvals process, and then you join the community. And there's no fee to become a WEPs member, and there's no obligation to report publicly. It's really an aspiration that you commit to. And currently in Malaysia, we're very happy. As of today, we have 54 signatories in Malaysia, and these are just some of the logos of everyone joining us. You'll see Q3 is on there, BG Capital Holdings as well. And so we really have a range. I think what you can see from this slide is we have a range of multinationals that have signed at the Malaysia level, from Microsoft to Prudential, to MetLife, all the way to local SMEs and small organizations. We have lead women in there as well. Bursa Malaysia, the stock exchange, has signed on. So we're continuing to grow this movement in Malaysia, and there is a strong representation from SMEs as well, as you can see. And so finally, inspired by the WEPs and wanting to showcase the best practices of companies and businesses and enterprises that have committed to the WEPs and are taking a lot of steps and are also being innovative in their approach to gender equality, we launched last year in 2020 the Asia-Pacific WEPs Awards. So the WEPs Awards are the first and only regional awards initiative that recognizes companies taking action for gender equality in alignment with the principles and the spirit of the WEPs. So we want to showcase best practices, encourage other businesses, and inspire them to join and take action also aligned to the WEPs. And so one of the things that's special about the WEPs Awards is they're open to any country in the Asia-Pacific can apply to the WEPs Awards, but for our 7 countries where our UN Women program implements, we also hold special national award ceremonies where we have the chance to recognize more national companies and more national businesses. And so Malaysia is one of these companies, one of these countries where we're very happy to have a national process and be able to showcase more companies in Malaysia. And Malaysia will have a dedicated national ceremony in October that you'll hear more about later. So applications are open. You'll hear all about this as well, but we've just extended the deadline through August 9th. So you have a few more weeks to apply and work with us. We can also be flexible working with you on the timeline. If you're not able to get the full submission done by August 9th, we can also work with you. We want to get more applications and learn from you and inspire others with what you're doing. And so we're very happy this year on a regional level for the WEPs Awards to have Investing in Women partnering with us, which is an amazing organization that's funded by the Australian government that works to support more businesses to become gender responsive through working with business coalitions in Southeast Asia and also supporting social norms change and gender investment. And then this year, I'm going to hand over for the Malaysia process to my colleague Archana. We're very, very happy this year and proud as well to be partnering with our main implementing partner in Malaysia, which is Lead Women. And so now that I've talked a little bit, I'm going to hand it over to Archana, and we're also going to finally get the chance to hear from some of our awardees last year. So Archana, over to you.
Thank you, Amy. Give me a second to... Yeah, there I am. So as Amy has shared, Lead Women is the proud implementation partner in Malaysia this year. And we are very happy to be part of the Women Empowerment Principles campaign. Through this campaign, we are able to work with a lot of organizations to be able to assess and to really look at where our corporations stand in terms of their diversity initiatives and practices. A bit about Lead Women. We've been around since 2011, and the mission initially was to really increase women representation at the board level. And it started with an aspirational target of 30%. And as you can see, from 2011, we've really walked up the ladder in terms of increasing representation of women by placing a lot of incredible and credible young women, senior women into board positions in different corporate spaces. But over the years, we've also diversified our services, whereby we do consultancy when it comes to diversity projects in organizations. We run assessments. We also organize public and in-house programs really around diverse, equity and inclusive practices. So that's a bit about Lead Women. And moving forward, today we actually have with us 2 incredible speakers to join us in the session, who will be sharing more as to more about the campaign and how they've been part of it. And just to share with you, both speakers, Saliza Abdullah and Emiliawati Zainul, they are both awardees of the Women Empowerment Principles Awards 2020. So with that, I would like to welcome them, Emilia and Saliza. Let me just get them on screen for you. Right. There is Saliza and Emilia. There you are. Welcome, ladies. So a bit of introduction. Saliza is the Group Managing Director and CEO of BG Capital Holdings. She will share with you a bit more about BG Capital Holdings and how she went about winning the award last year for the Community and Industry Engagement category. And Emilia was a winner in the Leadership Commitment category, and both these ladies represent also NAWEM, the National Association of Women Entrepreneurs of Malaysia. So welcome, ladies. I'm also wary of time, so we're just going to give, I understand that you have a lot to share as well, and we really appreciate this because both of you hold a lot of great energy in wanting to disseminate this message and really calling out more SMEs to be part of the campaign and also to sign up as signatories so that we can other companies or other countries as well are able to look at some of these best practices and possibly assimilate them where they can. So to begin, we can start with Saliza. Maybe you can share with us and everyone here today, what inspired you to apply to the WEPs Awards?
Okay, morning Archana and morning Amy. Thanks to Lead Women and UN Women for providing us with this platform to actually share our experience in participating in the UN WEPs Award last year. All right, there are basically two reasons why I decided to take part in the UN WEP Awards last year. Basically to showcase and to share with everyone the initiatives that we have done with regards to women empowerment in our very much male-dominated security industry in Malaysia. So basically to take part in this award, as you can see, the organizer is the UN Women. So it is a great opportunity to actually present to UN Women through this UN WEPs activity or awards for them to validate all the work that you have done under your company. So then again, the other reason why our company decided to take part in the award as well as become a signatory to the WEP is because women empowerment agenda has always been our DNA because we are a 100% women-owned, women-led company which has been around for almost 30 years. So we would love to be part of a larger society, especially at the international level, so that all of us can come together and work towards achieving the same mission, which is to empower more and more women, whether they come from the SME sector or from the corporate as well as the multinational companies. So basically those are the two reasons why I decided, or the company decided to sign up for the awards last year.
Thank you, Saliza. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, definitely a validation of the initiatives that are run by the company and also joining the global network, not just national network of other corporations and SMEs that are already implementing these diverse practices. Yes. Now moving on to Amelia. Amelia, maybe you can share with us as to why did you apply to the WEPs Awards last year?
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum and good morning. Thank you, Archana. Hello, Amy, and thank you, Lead Women and also UN Women for organizing this event and particularly for SME. Really appreciate that. Same thing, I have reason why I joined the award last year. Basically, our company is not a family business company. Obviously, we just started, we are quite new in the market. I spent 23 years in corporates, and when I started up my own business and management consultancy, the original intent is to work with the businesses to improve their performance, and at the same time to share what is the big company have in terms of women empowerment, in terms of gender inclusivity, diversity and all that, because we can see most of the small company or SME do not apply that as what I have been applied in corporate. That is the first intention. So to do that, we ourselves in the organization, when we started this company, we have much focus on setting up certain things that can drive us towards that. Then after the years, over the years, then we realized that, okay, we can be better consultant if, like, say, we do ourselves. It's walk the talk thing. So when I saw the opportunity that when we noted some similarities in our internal policies and procedure with the 7 principles of WEPs, I say, hey, something that I can see and I can learn from each other, from the companies. And that's, I think that the another thing is to apply the award in order to gauge my where I am personally as a leader of the company, and of course as a consultant for the businesses, and also to gauge where is my company professionally. So that's the reason why I applied for these WEPs. Thank you.
Thanks, Amelia. Thanks for sharing that. So it sounds a lot like it was an internal process to applying it externally. That's brilliant. And how you came across the WEPs campaign and saw that as an opportunity to be able to work on your internal practices while being able to see what from there that you can apply to your services as well. I think that's a very brilliant approach, and also quite creative, really, to see that opportunity. Thank you, both of you. So next, I'll be moving on to actually talking about your winning initiatives. So what actually got you the awards last year? So to begin with, Saliza, again, I'm passing the floor to you to share a bit about your winning initiative before we move on to the slides to see what this was. Oh yeah, thanks, Amy.
Thank you. So as you all know, under this UN WEPs Award, there are a number of categories. Some of the awards recognize companies' initiative, and some of the awards recognize the leaders or the individuals' contributions towards women empowerment agenda. So for us, we decided to submit our application for the industry and community engagement. Because I think we don't have much time, so I'm just gonna go very quickly with regards to the initiatives. Yeah, some of the key initiatives that we have done to promote women empowerment agenda for the security industry in Malaysia. So to give everyone some perspective about the scenario, I believe whether it's in Malaysia or in other parts of the world, security industry is a pretty is being dominated by men. It's a very male-dominated industry. And if you look at the context of Malaysia, we have about 130,000 employees, okay, in the workforce, but only 10% are women. And out of that 130,000, all of them are being employed by around 900 registered security companies, okay, registered with the Ministry of Home Affairs, and only less than 1% of those companies are actually women-owned or women-led. So one of our agenda being 100% women-owned, so we have always championed women empowerment agenda in our business. But what we have done, or what we decided to do with regards to the industry, is that to encourage more women to take up decision-making roles so that we will be able to contribute in terms of ideas and in terms of setting up policies for the betterment of the industry in Malaysia. So what I have done in 2014, 2015, I basically got nominated to sit on the board of the Malaysia Security Industry Association, in which the association is the only association which is recognized by the Ministry of Home Affairs. So between 2015 and in 2015, ever since I became the only woman elected, board member in the association, I've actually started to promote and try to, include women empowerment agenda in whatever things that we do. So basically what we have done with regards to having more and more women to sit on the board of the association, we could actually see an increment or an increase of women, okay, from around only me, okay, for example, like less than 13% to about more than 35% women holding decision-making positions in the associations. So meaning to say that when one person starts the ball rolling, you will be able to inspire and get more and more, women to come on board and play an active role in terms of getting more and more women to sit on the board and have their say with regards to women empowerment agenda in the security industry, although we are the minority in the industry. So basically, those are the achievements with regards to the board position. And the other thing that we have done through that position as well through our company's initiative is to increase the number of women participations in the labor workforce in the security industry. As I mentioned, there's only like 13,000. Okay, so what happened in 2015, the government introduced a mandatory training for all the security personnel known as the certified security guard. But what happened during that year, if you can see at the table that is being projected on the screen, they didn't have enough placement, okay, for women, and hence only 1% out of the total 10% of women were able to take part in the program. So I've actually gone through some exercise whereby we actually, I didn't want to use the word lobbied, but we actually did that. I mean, I actually did that with a few other women-owned companies to actually request for more women to be given the opportunity to take part in the mandatory training program. So as you can see, between 2014 and 2019, that number has increased, and we have actually now reached that 10% percentage, which tallies with the actual composition of women and men in the security industry. So basically, that is some of the initiatives that we have done to encourage more women's participation in the decision-making level, as well as in the labor workforce in the industry. And under this category, there's two. So the other one, if you can go to the next slide, is with regards to the community initiative, okay? As a security services company, when we talk about safety and security, we don't just look at those people who work in the industry or the customers that we serve, who are mainly private companies, large companies, corporate MNC, as all that. But we also look at the community that we serve, because we do believe that when you talk about safety and security, it's actually the responsibility of everyone, individuals within the community, to be empowered in terms of knowing how they will be able to safeguard themselves with regards to safety, you know, so they will be able to live in a very safe and conducive environment. So what we have done under this initiative, we actually utilized our chain of event community spaces. We have one in Selangor, in Kedah, as well as one in Johor that will be opening up soon, whereby we use that centers to organize a lot of free training programs for members of the communities, so that they will be skillful and able to get, to earn income and be financially independent. So these are some of the pictures of the events that we have done, but the biggest program that we've done was we actually organized a career fair back in December 2020, whereby we managed to get the buy-in and the support from the local councils as well as from the local corporate companies, and 57 total SMEs and corporate companies actually came on board to offer more than 1,400 jobs to those people who got retrenched during COVID. So these are some of the work that we have done. So yeah, hopefully I'm able to share the initiatives and with everyone.
Thanks, Saliza. That's really brilliant. Just for the benefit of the crowd here today, so BG Capital stands for Berani Guards, yeah, Berani Guard Services. So Berani meaning brave, and we can see how Saliza has been brave despite being a minority in terms of gender in this space of services, right? Guard services. You usually see men running the services. That didn't stop Saliza from really growing her business. And she has shared a bit as to how they went about doing so. And this was the initiative that won Saliza the award last year. Now, without further ado, I'd like to invite Amelia now to share what was that winning initiative for you and for Q3 Consulting.
Okay. Thank you, Archana, to share to invite me again. Right. Q3 Management Solution is not a big company, as we know. We knew we're not that big. We do not have much capacity in terms of to promote gender equality in the big scale. However, it will not stop us. So when we start this organization, we always feel that we want to give what we can give. As a leader myself in corporates, I have done so many fantastic things for the corporate to look into this woman agenda, to look into this inclusivity and all that. So the moment I'm out from corporate, I start thinking, what can I do more at my level? Because the idea of promoting women inclusiveness, gender equality and all that is not about you know how much you have, you know how big is your company. It's about how we want this to happen within our capacity. So to start with, I retract back in what we do internally. So internally, we really focus on these two things. Number one, strategic approach. Strategic approach, internally, we have much more, what you call it, written, everything written in terms of business plan, in terms of where we want to go, our vision, missions, even values starting from day one. Just to share with you and for the rest of the participants today, even though our policy and handbook is actually written before we even have our first employees on board. So that's how we really want to look into you know, having a standard, you know, culture within an organization. So we base on our values. Our values is sustainability of the business, professionalism, integrity, continuous improvement, and effectiveness and efficiency. So every single policy that we written in the organization is based on the 5 values that we have. So in terms of how we deploy that internally, we much more looking into the human approach. When we talk about human approach, the policies that we written is really consider, I can say that woman-friendly policy, because I believe if a company have a woman-friendly policy, you can actually apply that to men as well. So no issues, because woman-friendly policy is always the best to look into. So we have a clear company policy, we have a clear handbooks, salary structures and processes in terms of how to recruit people. Now, in fact, for our scale of company, we subscribe, not subscribe. Basically, we are digitalizing our businesses. We actually much rely on technology, in terms of finance, HR, and in fact for recruitment, we also actually move towards the digital 4.0 from the early stage. That's what I can say internally. But in terms of how we approach, I approach as a leader, we collaborate a lot with the external party. We work a lot with other members or other businesses out there. We collaborate with NGOs, and some of the signature program, I think it started in early 2018. Yeah, 2018. We want to create awareness on women empowerment, gender equality, bullying at workplace. This is something that actually we really want to. But in terms of our capacity, as a small company, we can't do that. So what we do is we collaborating, and we actually set up the only signature conference seminar for Q3 management solution, and that's the only conference that we have Q3 management solution Malaysia employment law seminar. So we have conducted 3 we call it 3 similar conference, and every year we have, we call it, so specific focus on the gender equality, on the woman empowerment title, so to create the awareness, especially throughout the other companies out there. At the same time, I also once in a while I will contribute the article. As you can see, some of the article that I wrote is about bullying at workplace. I know people do not write that much on top of that, but this is something that really close to my heart. And in fact, we also share a lot in terms of about sexual harassment and so on. So this is something that we do, yeah, within capacity us as a company. So when we move to the next, then when we actually talk about working with NGOs, we much personally, we have the personal capacity and also company capacity. We share a lot. We really go out there, you know, to share how we to express how we feel about this woman and gender what you call it, equality, if you can see, I just shared a little bit on, I think the first MCO when we actually stuck at home for the first 3 months. When the government announced the first MCO last March, last year March, the first thing that we do, because we only have 1 day, we actually sit down and say, okay, what we're going to do, because we have full employees that cannot go to work and all that. And the first thing that we actually think, I personally think as a leader, is not about how to pay them. It's like how to motivate them for the next how many months that we do not know how actually we do that. And at the same time, we also noted that there is some, lacking in terms of supplying PPE during that time, the first MCO, right? And it's not easy. So that's when the idea come in and say, okay, now we're going to use our workforce to look into, to supply and to distribute PPE throughout all the COVID hospital, all the way to Kluang Hospital. And we do it by staying at home, by collaborating with others. And that's what we do for entire 3 months. And Alhamdulillah, I can see the whole entire team are really positive towards actually looking into this. We go all the way, because being a leader is, of course, like I said, we have to make sure the sustainability of the company, but we have to make sure that we always provide them, with this motivation. In fact, every single year we have what we call it, a structured learning program for the company scale like us, because we want our people to grow, to learn and actually develop themselves. Either they will stay with us or not, that is a second point. But as a leader, as a company, I think that's what we looking at, to provide or to collaborate with others. Personally, I have a few directors, me, myself, and other directors. We also work closely with universities and colleges, because we believe that young generation is our future. So we work a lot with universities. So there's also another thing, from young to senior, we cover everything, and collaboration is one of the things that we do best, I think, Q3 Management Solutions. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know time.
Thank you so much, Amelia. I'm sure there's so much more to share, and questions as well from the floor. Some of the things that I could catch on was very quickly the groundwork. There was a lot of groundwork done in being able to implement these practices, and you also held spaces for difficult conversations. I think that was great. And with going through the pandemic, COVID, it's very nice to know that Q3 actually gave space for the employees and the support in terms of their emotional and social support that they need to sort of take care of their well-being, so that they can focus at work and at home properly. So moving forward, with my third and final question would be, why do you think other Malaysian companies, or SMEs especially, I think you're very passionate about SMEs, being SMEs yourself, why should they apply to the WEPs Awards, and what advice would you give them to be able to apply to the awards?
Okay, my call for action would be to encourage as many SMEs out there to first become a signatories of WEP, okay? Because if you have not already done or incorporate WEP into your business, this is the platform for you to learn from lead women, with the support of UN Women, to how you can re-strategize your business and turn WEPs into your blue ocean strategy in order for your business to grow and for your business to remain sustainable. So I would like to really encourage as many SMEs out there to sign up as signatories. And secondly, please, all you ladies out there, especially owners of the SMEs, okay, do not look at the list of the award recipient last year, because you will see quite a number of corporate. But that did not stop Amelia and I to actually try out for these awards, okay? So because at the end of the day, how UN Women will actually assess what we have done in our company, they don't look at the slide, how impactful the initiatives are to the community and towards achieving women empowerment agenda. So I would like to encourage as many of you out there to really consider. You still have about 8 days to go, yeah, Archana, 8 days to go. It's not that hard to fill up all the questions, okay? And as Deputy President of the National Associations of Women Entrepreneurs of Malaysia, we would be more than happy to provide assistance to any of our members who would like to, get more information after this, so that we will be able to encourage more and more SMEs to take part. So that would be my message to everyone who's watching this.
Thanks, Saliza. Good to know we have the extended support from Saliza as well for the applications to come in.
Free of charge, yeah? No charges for that. It's to empower women, Malaysian women.
Emilia, now over to you.
Yeah. Same like Saliza, please come and sign. I think especially for the business owner, woman business owner, because we have the say to say, okay, everyone signs and everyone put that in their signatures in their email, right? So they do not have choice. They need to actually put that signatures of woman empowerment, so because you're the boss, right? Second of all, right? Please come, because the 7 principles really will help you, to guide you where you want to be, to actually structure. Some of the SMEs companies say, we do not have this, we do not have that. You have, believe me, you do have. The only challenges with SME, we do not put in place, we do not write it down. You have the policies, you have the procedure. Believe me, I'm in my SMEs. The only thing you need to do is just gather everything, put it down and apply to enhance your knowledge and capability with the learning opportunities that given by you and women and also lead women. You have fantastic sustainability journey. I can show you for that. And my advice, I think for some of the companies out there, incorporate woman-friendly policies in your organization. Then after that, gather all the activities of the company that not only to generate revenues but also to motivate the people, make our people work for the company with a purpose in life. We have purpose, we have vision, we have mission, we have values, and translate that into the culture that we want to embed it in our company. The more that we have, the more focused we are in sustaining our culture and business, the much more easier for us to grow as an SME. Maybe we can be as big as corporate or even as long as Saliza business, right? So, and always remember, I think last note, we are not competing with big company. We are not competing with corporate company. We are competing within ourselves. What we can improve, compared to last year, where we want to go next year. That's all about it. Thank you very much. Pass over to you, Jana.
Thanks, Amelia. Thank you so much, Saliza and Amelia. I think I can never say it enough. We are really happy and grateful to have both of you here to embody that spirit and to really share how people can be part of not just applying to the awards, but really campaign and leverage on this opportunity to learn and grow as a company as well. We have a question in the chat, so maybe we can quickly take that and just share it to Saliza and Amelia here. So Roslinda is asking, are you ladies going for the award again this year? Go for hat trick.
Emilia, over to you.
Over to me. Not for this year. We will let other companies to enjoy and of course to come in. Of course, not every year, right? So maybe we will visit back the other year. Let us work towards that first. Future. Thank you. How about you, Saliza?
I concur with Emilia. I think once is enough, although I came first runner-up to another corporate company, but to me, it has been very beneficial to me. I'm so proud to be able to incorporate and to be able to personally talk about WEP through my experience, our business experience in taking part in the whole UN WEPs awards. So yeah, it's not about like how many an individual or one company can have. Let's get more and more women-owned businesses, SMEs to come on board, because the more or the larger pool of women that can take part in this program, you can see how strong we are going to be in Malaysia in terms of promoting the women empowerment agenda. So Roslinda, it's not us, it's you. You must be able to submit your application by 9th of August without fail.
So we can expect your name to be there, your company, Linda.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Saliza and Emilia. Saliza and Emilia, hopefully you can stay with us until we end. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite Amy back. Amy, over to you. We'll be now sharing the process. Hope you are excited to learn how you can be part of the awards.
Yes, thank you so much, Archana, and thank you so much, Saliza and Emilia Mati. I don't think anyone could be a better advocate for the awards than you two are. I'm so excited to have you joining us today. And now I'm going to tell everyone else why you should apply and how you can apply. So just to clarify first, who should apply for the awards? So anyone in a private sector organization, and just to clarify, you don't have to be a WEP signatory when you apply. So if you're worried that, I can't become a WEP signatory soon enough, it's okay. You can submit an application. And then if you want to become an awardee, at that stage, we ask that you become a WEP signatory, and then we guide you through the process. And also, as Emilia said, if you're worried that you don't have the policies in place, the procedures in place, it's okay, still apply. I'm going to tell you in a second about how we're also including more SMEs this year. And also, to become a WEP signatory, you don't need to be addressing all 7 principles. Not even the largest corporates are doing that. So we still welcome everybody at any stage of their gender journey to commit to the WEPs, right? If it's your first time hearing about the WEPs today, and you don't know if they fit, but you have been doing some practices to include women in your business, we still welcome your application. And all nationalities are welcome to apply for the leadership awards, even if you're someone that has founded a business and you're non-Malaysian, you can still apply under Malaysia. But I'm assuming most of those joining us today are based in Malaysia. But any organization can be included, from 1 employee up to 10,000+, as long as you're registered as a business or a social enterprise, you can apply. And just a quick note on why apply. You really demonstrate your leadership. I think we've heard from Saliza and Emilia that it really does help you gain that visibility and also fast track your sustainability agenda as you join the community, as you learn from others. Also, as you take advantage of some of the trainings that we have through UN Women and Lead Women. All applicants get access to a self-diagnostic tool that anyone can take as part of the WEPs platform, and it helps you assess your strengths and weaknesses in your business and help you move forward from that. And then to the awardees and the winners, you do get that worldwide recognition by being officially recognized by UN Women as a WEPs Awards winner. So you get visibility not only through the UN Women channels, but also the WEPs platform, which is a global platform. And also for the winners, we'll have testimonial videos that feature interviews with you and what your solutions were and or your initiatives and what you did. And we'll also have champions profiles for the awardees at regional level, and we hope at national level as well. Okay, since we are limited on time and I don't want to keep everyone too late through the lunch hour, I'm going to introduce the categories for this year that you can win for, and I'll go through them briefly, but we will send all of these slides to everyone after the presentation, and I want to save time so that Archana can walk you through the actual application. So we have 5 main categories and a highlighted category. So the 5 main categories follow the value chain of the WEPs, as we like to look at it. We start with leadership commitment. This is for any leader in the organization 35 or older. And then we go to gender inclusive workplace. We have a category on marketplace. And then we have another category, community engagement and partnerships. The wording is a little different than last year, but it still includes industry engagement. And then newly added this year, we have a transparency and reporting category. So we're looking for companies or business associations, chambers of commerce, or stock exchanges who have taken steps to advance reporting, measurement of gender data within organizations and make it more transparent. And we also have a highlighted category this year for youth leaders who are any young leaders under the age of 35 that have demonstrated leadership for gender equality. Okay, the special thing about this year, and it is a little bit confusing, so I'll clarify, but an SME can win in any of the categories normally, just as Salid BG Capital Holdings did and Q3 Management Solutions. You can apply and become a winner in any of the categories because maybe you're already quite advanced in your journey and you have taken time to integrate these practices and you have the policies in place. What we're going to do is look at all the applications that come in for these 5 categories, and where we see an SME, so less than 200 employees, that has really promising initiatives, but maybe they don't have many policies in place yet, we're going to pull those out into a special pool. And from that pool, we're going to choose an additional 3 SME champions. So if you have the policies in place, you've already got things in writing, you can probably become a winner in any of the categories, but we're also going to make sure we highlight those who don't have the policies in place yet. So even if you think, no, there's no way I'm competitive, yes, you still can be, please still apply. We will recognize, okay, this organization is doing really great things. This is really innovative. They're supporting women in the community, or they're really showing great leadership skills, but they don't have many policies yet. So we'll put you in that special pool. And then from that pool, we'll choose 3 SME champions. Okay, let me go through the categories quickly. So like I said, we'll send all the slides, so I don't want to spend too much time, but I do just want to highlight that for each of these categories, the criteria that we list, it doesn't mean you have to meet all of them. They're just, it could be one of these. So, for example, workplace is a very broad category. We get the highest number of applications. Your initiative could be any one of these things. So if you have a really strong initiative for equal recruitment and equal pay, that's fine. It can just be that one initiative and you submit for workplace. These are just examples of what could be a good application. And so all of the categories go to an organization except for the leadership commitment category. That goes to an individual, and the youth leader also goes to an individual. And so Marketplace has 2 elements. This includes working with women entrepreneurs or supporting women entrepreneurs in the community, or also making the suppliers that you work with, ensuring they're more gender inclusive. And this also includes marketing and advertising. So if you have really strong marketing campaigns that try and reduce stereotypes or that try and bring up issues that have been heavily gender biased or that are taboo, we want to hear about those campaigns as well. And then community engagement and partnerships. This could be advocating within your industry, as Lisa did. This could be forming strong partnerships to make change. This could also be working with local women in the community, or men and women in the community as well. A very broad category also. And transparency and reporting, companies that have taken steps to really report. This might be through sustainability reporting or ESG, and this could also go to chambers of commerce, stock exchanges, and then youth leadership, which goes to any individual under the age of 35. And this doesn't have to be a founder or a director. This could be any young employee within a larger company that has taken steps to drive a gender initiative in their organization. And one note that I'll say before we go on to the application is that men and women can win the Youth Leadership Award. So we often do mostly highlight women who have been amazing leaders, but it is inclusive of both men and women and all genders that can win the leadership awards. Okay, so I know that was a bit quick, but we'll give you the slides and we can always answer more details after on the categories. So I'll hand it over Archana to tell you how the application works.
Thank you, Amy. Just change the spotlight. Okay, so to quickly go through the application process, which I would always call it a 3+1 process, all you have to do is go to the www.AsiaPacificWEPsAwards.org, where the applications are to be submitted online. So you will not be sending any physical documents whatsoever to the UN office or the Lead Women office, but you'll be doing everything online. And the second step here would be to actually choose a language. Unfortunately, it's not available in Bahasa Melayu. But if you need support, our team here at Lead Women is more than happy to support you with the translations wherever need be. And the third step is to actually complete the 4 different sections online, which we will go through in a bit. Yep, so online applications and the 3 parts. So the first part is where it's all pertaining to the applications information. So that's got to do with your company and whatnot. This section only holds it doesn't hold any weightage to the application to the awards itself. And then part 2, where you have some general questions, where this part is a bit heavy, where you have more things to put in terms of the company's policies and practices that's related to the WEPs principles. And part 3, where it's the heaviest weightage over here of 75%, there are open-ended questions for you to answer in terms of the applicant, the company, and the initiative. And for for part 2 and 3, you need to upload supporting documents. But having said that, for SMEs, we understand that sometimes you may not have the documents similar to large corporations. And this is where you can submit any document that you might have that is related to the initiative that you want to put into the application or the organization. And sorry, Amy, you want to say something?
Yes, I was just saying, or write in a description. Yeah, if you don't have the policy in place, it's totally fine. You can even write that in the description, right? We tried to do this, but we don't have a policy. Okay.
Yeah. And the last resort, if you're still unsure as to how to go about it, you can always write to us and we will support you in that. Yeah. Moving forward. So this is pretty much how part 1 looks like: application information, pretty much data, basic data of the company and the applicant. And then part 2 would be the general questions of about 20% weightage that I mentioned, where this is where you need to upload documents. So you need to provide more supporting documents that gives description of the initiative and or policy that's related to the awards. And you can see there's a description section where you can write down actually instead of putting in the documents if you do not have the relevant documents to upload.
Yeah, so I do just want to clarify for this part 2, because I think this can often be the most scary, especially for SMEs. So this part 2 is aligned to what we call the WEPs GAT, the Gender Gap Analysis Tool, which is the tool that assesses your gender equality across the value chain. So this really initially was designed for larger companies. So it will ask you questions in this part 2 about supplier codes of conduct or marketing policies or maternity, paternity leave. And a lot of SMEs see this and think, oh my gosh, I have none of these. But it's fine. So first of all, you can just write in the description box, and it's okay to write, we don't have this policy in place yet. But the other point I want to emphasize is even if you're answering no to every question, this is why part 2 is only weighted at 25% of the total application. So because we're including everybody from large corporates to SMEs, we do need to ensure that especially the larger corporates have these policies in place, that we're awarding companies that do have good policies. But this is only 25% of the total score. So even if you're scoring, answering no to a lot of these questions, the majority of the score goes to your initiative in part 3. So you still have that chance to get an overall really high score. Okay, so just to clarify to everyone, because I know it can be a bit scary.
Yeah, thanks, Amy. Yeah. So part 2 can be a bit daunting, but yeah, if need be, as mentioned, we are here to support you. And we do know some companies have actually reached out just as they were going through the document and they are stuck in certain steps. They just take a screenshot of that and ask us, okay, so what do we do over here exactly? So you can do that similarly as well. And last but not least, so the last part, as I would call it, part 4. Oh, sorry. So part 3. Okay, so part 3, the category questions, the highest weightage of 75%. So this is where you actually put in your initiative and the actual key actions that have been taken, lessons learned. So from Saliza and Emilia sharing earlier, you would have heard how about their initiatives and what about their initiatives that they've actually put in their applications, how they went about implementing certain policies or practices within the company to implement those initiatives. So these are the things for you to actually put in over here. And to also record down the results and the sustainability measures that were taken to be able to implement these initiatives. And here as well, supporting documents are needed. So the related policies, press releases, any articles that have been published, reports are to be submitted as well.
And just for this to clarify as well, I think a good tip on the application. So first is these guiding questions. You don't have to answer every single guiding question exactly. They're guiding questions to let you know what we're looking for. And please use the word count. We sometimes get submissions where for this key actions, they only submit 200 words. And it's hard for us to really get a feel for what the actions were or the lessons learned. You can submit those extra documents to add extra evidence or extra detail, but really we do want to see that if we just read that 1,400 words of the application, we would get a strong idea that this impact is strong and has good practice. So use the word counts to fill them up. And then also on the supporting documents, you can even upload just a Word document that has links to Facebook posts, or we've had people submit screenshots of Facebook comments about how much their initiatives helped people or supported people. So it's okay if it's not official documentation for part 3, you can submit anything.
Thanks, Amy. And last but not least, so now part 4, which is actually where you submit the application. But having said that, so you can also see from the screenshot, there's an option to save your form. So should you need to come back to the form at another time because you didn't have a particular data information, so you can just save the form first and not click submit. So therefore the form will still be there online for you to come back to it another time and add or remove or edit some details there, submit some documents there. And then when you're ready, you can click submit, and that's where the document will actually be submitted. Yeah, so that's the 3+1 process. As easy as it may sound, there's a lot of work as well, we understand. And yeah, we are here for any questions that you might have even now. Yep, so as mentioned earlier, part 1 doesn't hold any weightage. It's just application information, so information regarding the applicant and also the company, and the general questions of a weightage of 25%, and with the part 3 of 75%. So we do have a panel of jury that will be looking at all the applications to ensure there's consistent scoring and whatnot. Moving forward, some dates for you to take note of. So now, as we've extended the deadline to 9th August, so you have about a week to go to submit your applications, and shortlisting will be done by 23rd of August, and then we have the national ceremonies in October, followed by a regional ceremony. So the top winners from the national ceremonies will be moving forward to the regional ceremony for the regional awards in November.
Yes.
And with that, I think we've come to the end of the application process, Amy. Yeah.
So we can do Q&A. And I did just want to clarify with people that the deadline is August 9th, but if you're just finding out about this today, we can work with you and be flexible. So as long as you have started an application online by the 9th, we can work with you to submit it a little bit later. Okay, so we can open the floor for Q&A. I don't see any in the chat yet. I did see one question earlier. I'll just clarify that. Unfortunately, nonprofits or foundations aren't eligible for the WEPs Awards because the WEPs and the WEPs Awards are for private sector entities only. And also, just to clarify, you don't have to be nominated. You can go fill out your application right now online on your own. There's no need to be nominated. Okay, we'll see if any other questions come up. I don't know if any have come through on Facebook.
Yeah, so we don't have any yet on Facebook.
Okay. If we don't have any yet, what I might do just to show everyone while we're still on the line is exactly what the website looks like when you go to apply. So everyone can see the WEPs Awards website, yes, on the screen? Okay, great. So it has all the information, first of all, and you can see some of our winners highlighted from last year. It will tell you about the WEPs. It has some previous information sessions. It has the categories again, eligibility, selection, and then you go to this apply button and select language. So I'll select English. So I'll just show you briefly what this looks like when you start. I'm going to discard and start over. So we have the required questions, and then in the very beginning, you'll choose the categories. So I'll choose leadership commitment and gender inclusive workplace. I'll answer that question in just a second. I know we're almost about time. And you go to the different sections. I just want to show everyone quickly. You can come back at any time. You can hit save, and then a pop-up is going to come. Oh, let me, shoot, I wanted to discard and start over so that I can show you just briefly. Discard and start over. Oh, I think it already has my email on file. But anyways, you can save it at any time and it will send it to your email, and you get an email from JotForm. So just to check your spam box, because JotForm is the platform we use for our applications. So you can always do that and it will tell me where I'm missing information. I see in the chat, someone asked, my son owned the company Academy that just started end of last year. I'm the head of training and credential program. Can I apply for the leadership category? You could, yes. That's another good point, actually. For the leadership category, you don't have to be the CEO or the top person. We do just ask that it's a person in a leadership title. So you still could apply as head of training and credentials. Or your son could apply, or he owned it, maybe that started and you're the head. Okay, but yes, you could still apply for leadership. Any other questions? I know we're 1 minute over. Is 35 years based on year or month of application? The month at the time of application. So if your birthday, if you turn 35 on August 10th, then you're still under 35 at the time of application. So you can apply. Yes, it's just under 35 at the time of application. Yes. Yes, okay. So yes, it will prompt you here to fill in your responses. And just a reminder on part 2, you can click the answer. You don't have to upload. You can just type. We try to and just type your answer. Okay. Okay, I know everyone is probably getting hungry. So if there's no more questions in the chat, we might finish our session today, but you can always contact me or Archana with the women at any time to answer your questions. We're very happy to support, and Saliza kindly offered to support as well any applications. And just again, August 9th is the official deadline, but we can still work with you to submit a bit afterwards. So I'll hand it over to Archana to close us out.
Yes, thanks, Amy. So before we finish, I understand it's already 12:32. We want to just take a quick picture, so a screenshot in this virtual world we are in today, especially that we have these amazing great speakers with us today. And thanks, Amy, as well. And I know in the background we have Trisha from Lead Women and also Deepa from UN Women. So a quick shout out and thank you. And if everyone can switch on your cameras for a while, we can all take a quick photo before we end. Trisha's going to take a screenshot. I'm going to pass it to you, Trisha. So on your count.
Okay. Let me just wait for everyone to turn on their camera.
Oh, it's great to see everyone. No problem.
No worries at all. Is that everyone? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to take the picture on a count of 3, yeah? 1, 2, 3. One more, yeah? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Trisha. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. Thank you, Saliza and Emilia as well. Yeah, thank you so much. If you do have questions, the email is in the chat space. Do reach out to us.
Very excited. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a lovely weekend.